Welcome to the Happy Humanoid's Perspective, where your beliefs are challenged, thoughts provoked, and where you may find your happy place whether you like it or not.
And here are your hosts, Edith and Miles. Woohoo!
Woohoo! Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight for our episode number 17.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thanks for being with us. Tonight, we're going to talk about sensitivities.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Environmental.
Yeah.
People. And resistance to receiving.
Yeah.
The new age of sensitive guy. I was called that many years ago, and hopefully moved past that now. The sensitive new age guy. So this is an interesting topic for me. I guess it's a big topic because it covers a lot of ground. It's like there's a lot of little intricate pieces to this puzzle of being intimate, or being intimate, to being sensitive. Maybe we should have a class on intimacy. So welcome to our show, and if you have comments or questions, you can write them in the little box on the bottom right corner, and we'll get to those on the show.
Or if you would like to join us, you can tap your name, and we'll be more than happy to invite you to come and join us if you have some question or anything. Yeah. We'll be delighted to welcome you to our show.
Yes.
So, sensitivities.
Yeah.
In sensitivities, there are these allergies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, do you want to say first what you discover, what is your awareness about sensitivities?
Well, I had this, I don't know if it's awareness or just maybe it's observation. There seems to be basically two types of sensitive, or two types of people, I'm going to say. Maybe as a generalization, not necessarily true. But there's like the overly sensitive people that are just aware or just sensitive to everything. They might be environmentally sensitive. They may have skin issues. Their skin is very sensitive. They may be sensitive to sounds or vibrations or other people. They're just really sensitive. Like I've known quite a few people in my life that are very sensitive. And myself, I have that, I guess that label I would consider sensitive. Before I came to Access, I just acknowledged it. Oh, I'm a sensitive guy. I'm sensitive. And then there's the people who don't seem to have any kind of sensitivity at all. They're just about as sensitive as a river rock. There's just not much sensitivity there. So there's just this huge, I guess, division between the people who are very sensitive and people who aren't. And what I think is actually a possibility is that we're all sensitive, but it's not really sensitivity. It's more awareness. And the people who acknowledge that they're more in awareness than sensitive, they can allow the sensitivities of the surroundings around them and just acknowledge it. Oh, it's not that I'm sensitive that I have to block it out or defend myself or put a bubble around me or whatever. It's more of just the awareness. And we'll talk more about some more ideas about the sensitivity and the people, and also how to have a different perspective of that.
Yeah. These people who are sensitive and who develop allergies. Should we go by that first?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that going on. Environmental sensitivities, like pollutants or sprays or fragrances or lotions.
Can the food be included in this?
I think so. I think it can be food as well. And
it's a way for people to a resistance to receiving a lot of time when there's allergy. And when you become aware that if you have allergies, that there's something that you resist to receive. Okay, everything you resist to receive, and all the points of view you have, all the decision, judgment, conclusion, computation, separation, expectation, projection you had that created this allergy? Well, you know, and create and destroy it all times a godzillion.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, online shorts, boys and beyonds.
And by the way, we are Access Consciousness Facilitator.
Yep.
I am Edith, and you are?
I am Miles. Hello. Still Miles.
Yeah. Yeah. And by just this detail about becoming aware, you are aware of things, and probably you never learn how to deal with this awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because usually the awareness, we're going to perceive it from our body.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so everywhere you locked yourself in your body, trying to deal with whatever intensity was there, will you now create and destroy it all times a gazillion?
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, online shorts, boys and beyonds. You know, it's also important, I think it's important to not beat yourself up if you consider yourself sensitive, you know, like, or creating allergies, like if you have allergies or you're sensitive or have resistance to certain things. It's about, you know, not beating yourself up about it, because it's really capacity just to acknowledge that, okay, I have this awareness that maybe other people aren't acknowledging. It's just when we become sensitive and label ourselves as sensitive, then we become sensitive to lots of things. And it's also a way to prove that you can't have something. Like if we have an allergy to food, like maybe someone says they have allergies to strawberries or nuts or whatever it is, that's almost like a proving of that they can't have that. You know, it's not a. Now, I'm not saying that you should just run a few clearings and then go ahead and eat strawberries if you have a sensitivity to it. It's just I desire to create maybe a different possibility, a different perspective about what allergies are, what are sensitivities, and you know, it's also sensitivity. It could be a sensitivity to money. You know, it could be that is like if there's a resistance to having money. That could be like, well, I'm allergic to cancel clear, allergic to money. Somebody might say it doesn't really sound logical, but if there's a resistance to it, then there's almost like an allergic reaction to having money, because a lot of people maybe create money, but they don't necessarily have money. They spend as fast as they get it in. So it really sensitivities and allergies is really just about not receiving some of the energy, some of whatever energy that is, whatever it happens to be.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be like men or women, you know, sensitive to women, and like creating problems with being around women. That can be like a sensitivity or an allergy to women or something like that. There's all kinds of sensitivities that we can create.
Yeah, and I remember I worked with a client who was allergic to gluten.
Mm-hmm.
And I get a sense for her, it's that she was allergic to herself. She was resisting to something of her.
Mm-hmm.
And she could not receive something of her. And we cleared a lot of stuff to come to the energy where it was the anger. She would not allow herself anger. So by clearing that for her, and she was her way of eating before was very fruit, vegetables, and meat, protein, and that's it. She could not eat, because if she was eating the rest, she had some painful result in her body. So after clearing that, she went, it was just before Christmas, she went into her family and she ate all the Christmas food, you know, the pie, bread, and all that. And she didn't have any of the symptoms of the that she usually have in her body.
Yeah.
So what is it that you don't allow yourself to receive from you, that you judge it so much?
Mm-hmm.
That create, because allergies are a creation. This is something we created. So what is it of you that you chose to be allergic to, you chose to not receive. What are these energies of you that you resist to receive that create all these physical allergies? And everything that is, will you create and destroy it all times a godzillion?
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Yeah, I have this one person that I've worked with for a few years, and this person is environmentally sensitive to many things. And this person is stays at home basically because she's not able to go outside and be well, she goes outside, but not it's very limited. And it's I also want to say that it's not, again, not to make yourself wrong for if you have some sensitivities or allergies or environmentally challenged, I guess. It's just beginning to clear some of these points of view about what sensitivity is and what allergies are, and maybe that will create a different possibility. So everywhere that you have bought into the information and the forward movement of this society, saying that there are environmental issues, and because of all the different pollutants and pesticides and chemicals in the world, that it's not unlikely that people won't get environmentally sensitive. So everything that is, we destroy and uncreate all that times godzillion.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. You could also create, whoops, sorry, you wanted to continue?
Go ahead.
You could also create allergies from the decision you made. Like an example, if your mom, there's a perfume your mother hates, you could choose to you had to eat it, and the way to eat it is to become allergic. So everywhere you decided that you hated something, and the best way to get out of it or be away of it is to create an allergy of it. With it, will you now create and destroy it all times a godzillion?
Yes. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Yeah. There's it's like if a kid, for example, gets into a situation with his family or just his environment where they get caught up in the emotions of someone who is maybe aggressive, and there's this energy of invasion, like maybe the kid is very sensitive and the people around him they can be like even passive aggressive, so it's not physically aggressive, but this energy of aggression or rage, if someone's really sensitive, that almost like attacks a person's body, energetic body, and creates trauma to the body. And so in order for, let's say if it was a kid, to combat that energy before knowing that allowing the energy to come in and just pass through, they would want to kind of protect themselves and build some kind of a barrier or a wall around themselves to keep that, we would say earlier in our lives, negativity or this energy of rage or anger or whatever. It doesn't feel good on our body, so we want to like keep it out. And for myself, I think I, in some lifetime or some part of my being, have that, because it's like I'm sensitive to different sounds and different emotions. And like I can hear when we live in a condo, when there's noise in the house and there's someone walking upstairs and there's pounding, he pounds his feet across the floor. I think he's running a restaurant or something up there, but he's not. But if I'm not, if I don't actively clear that for myself or expand my energy, I get stuck in it, and I just hear and feel this energy of this aggression that's coming through. And what happens is, if we build a barrier to try to defend that energy, it really only traps us into this small universe, this small place of, okay, this is where I can protect myself. This is my reality. This is what I'm comfortable with. I can keep myself safe within this space. Then it really eliminates any other possibility of something great. So one of the tools to shifting this energy of sensitivity and acknowledging this awareness is to expand your energy out. So we can take a moment and just do that. If you're just sitting or standing or driving or whatever, just get a sense of the energy around your body, maybe a foot around your body, and then just, you don't have to think about it, but just allow your energy to extend out. Now it goes out to, let's say, the length of a football field. And just imagine that the energy is going in all directions. And now go to the edges of the city that you live in. And then now I'll imagine that the energy is extending out past the country that you live in. And then now it just goes beyond this universe. And it's like when you have an irritant, and if the irritant is loud, is as big as you, then it's really got my attention. But if I extend my energy out to where I'm like 10,000 or 100,000 miles out in all directions, that irritant now becomes like a molecule on a flea. It's a very small, it's not even an irritation. So that's one way to do it, is to extend or expand your energy out, and just practice doing that as a way to allow. And it doesn't mean that you cut off that awareness. It doesn't mean that you detach from anything. It's not about detachment. It's about allowing the energy of what exists in this reality and having the awareness to be a part of that, to have that awareness of the person upstairs, or the sound of the truck outside, or whatever it is, or the perfume that you can smell 2 doors down, whatever that is. Having that same awareness, that's a capacity. Yeah, that's OCD, obsessive compulsive, but it's actually it's obsessive compulsive capacity. It's OCC. So anyway, that's one way to do that. So everywhere that you have a conclusion that you can't extend your energy out, that you're really just the small universe person living in this small little itty bitty house, where you destroy and create all that times godzillion.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, pause and beyonds. When you do this exercise of expanding your energy out, like 150,000 miles, if it's necessary, it's like, it's like if you take a cup of water and you drop a rock in it, the water will touch the border of the cup very dramatically, but when you drop a rock in the ocean, the wave will just disappear. It's the same. When you allow yourself, your energy to be, you expand your energy to be like very far away from you, you can receive all that. The impact is not the same. As the impact is not the same in the cup, or if you throw a rock in the cup, or if you throw a rock in the ocean. It's really functioning from another kind of energy, from another kind of space. Yeah. I had a great awareness today about that, because we talked about it before the podcast. And for me, when we talked the first time last week about sensitivity, the first thing that came up was emotion. And I went a little bit deeper today, and I realized that when I was young, I was very afraid of my dad. He has this kind of intensity when he was angry. And what I did in my life is, when he was angry, I was like forgetting everything else, and I was on him, trying to calm him down. I was trying to resolve the situation, because I could not stand. For me, today I can't see it. I was panicking inside. It seems like I was stuck. When he was like this, I didn't have any place to go. And I realized today that what I did is, when he was angry this way, this intensity, I took it in my body and I incarcerated myself in it. So when he was showing me this intensity, I could not do anything, because I was in my energy. I was incarcerated in it. So this intensity of people, is it possible that you took it in your body to try to remove them from them, and thinking by doing this that they will choose something different? The thing is, people don't choose something different. They don't. So this intensity that you took on your body, will you now return to sender with consciousness attached?
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyond.
And everywhere you incarcerated yourself in this intensity, will you now create and destroy it all times a godzillion?
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyond.
And all this intensity that you created to try to deal with the intensity, and everywhere you try to have your intensity stronger than the intensity that was outside of you to try to deal with it. And you first, will you destroy and uncreate it all times a godzillion?
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
And second, are you now stuck with this intensity where you just have that as a way to be, as a way to respond to something? So everywhere you are stuck and you have this only way to respond to whatever is in front of you, will you now uncreate and destroy it all times a godzillion?
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Yeah, you know, there's something interesting about sort of identifying ourselves as a certain thing. Like for me, it was identifying myself as a sensitive guy. And there's this sort of like, I guess, yeah, it's identity. Like that's who I was. That was like the way I functioned in my life. That was sort of my automatic response about who I was and how I viewed the world as a sensitive guy. And once I began to clear the sensitivity and have the awareness that it was more about being aware than being sensitive, or I just used sensitivity as a sort of a bad word, you know, it was like, I didn't really like being called sensitive because it was like, for me, it was like vulnerable or weak or something that was not very like masculine and strong and fighting the bull kind of thing. But I also realized that it's through Access, it's really about awareness, having this great capacity to be aware of, like when I'm driving, I can have this awareness of spatial awareness of things around me on the side, and I can hear things that maybe other people don't acknowledge, and that's just it's just a capacity. So everywhere that we're using our identity as being sensitive as a way to continue to limit the possibilities of what we could be choosing, we destroyed and uncreate all that times Godzillion.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And there are many people that identify themselves to their feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And because they are sensitive, they believe that they are this feeling. And so everywhere you identify yourself to this feeling to be sensitive, well, you know, uncreate and destroy it all times a godzillion.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
And everywhere, you know, we talked at the beginning about protection. We create these kind of wall of energy to try to protect ourselves. And this is how sometimes the allergy can be created by the sensitivity. Every time you try to protect yourself, that's a lie. That's a lie. Like if you try to resist to an energy, or you try to, you try to resist to an energy that someone is sending you, you know, like someone who is intense in front of you and or who is screaming in front of you, and you believe that you have to put a barrier. What you're doing is that you're limiting yourself. It's about allowing this person. First, our first language is energy. So this person has an intense energy. And So everywhere you created this fear that intense energy is dangerous for you, will you now uncreate and destroy it all times a godzillion?
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pocket, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
And everywhere you believe that by protecting yourself, you were doing whatever was required for you. And what you were doing is that you were lying to yourself. You were keeping yourself in a lie. Well, you now uncreate and destroy it all times a godzillion.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pocket, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Yeah, I think it's also cool to maybe just acknowledge that when someone's being aggressive, it's really a great way to manipulate the other person. It's a way to try to gain control. So if someone's being aggressive or angry around you, you may notice a lot of people sort of get that person's attention and then they have control. But what if you were able to use that awareness of, okay, this person's being aggressive or expressing anger or whatever, and allowing that energy just to be there, to be present and not have to do anything with it. Like you just said, just lower your barriers and just allow that person to have their little angry party. You know, if there's no resistance, there's no fight. And that's one of the great things I saw when I first started Access was acknowledging that if I don't have a point of view about someone getting upset or being a certain way, the more I was able to let go of that, it was almost humorous, and I was the one in control. Because the one who was trying to get my attention or trying to make me angry or get me involved in some trauma, as I was able to just allow that to be, then I was the person that was in control. I was the one that could make choices. So yeah, again, just choosing awareness and asking what's required. So everything that doesn't allow you to have the awareness of at any given moment of what someone's how someone's trying to manipulate you, will you destroy it and create all that times a godzillion?
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and puck, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. There's a process, a verbal process in Access for the environmental sensitivity, and I want to give it to you. So what stupidity are you using to create the invention and the artificial intensity and the demons of the environmental sensitivity you are choosing? Everything that is, will you uncreate and destroy it all times a godzillion?
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pocket, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
So repeat this again and again and again. Before the end of the show, you at the beginning you mentioned two kind of people: those who are very sensitive and those who are not. Who not. Can you say more about that?
Well, yeah, the two that I've noticed is like there's a person who's very sensitive. They're like sensitive to everything. They're just they don't acknowledge that they have the awareness that they're just like sensitive. They're like react to a lot of different things, and they react to smells or sounds or vibrations or people. You know, they're just reactive. It's a sensitivity. I guess they can even like flip that word around as reactive. They're very reactive to this world, this environment. And then there's people who don't react. They don't have any. They're just stone cold. They don't have any sort of expression of sensitivity at all. They don't even acknowledge that they sense anything. They just seem like they're just like a dead fish. They don't really have any movement. But that's also just not acknowledging awareness, because the people who may appear to be not having any sensitivity may be very aware. They're just not acknowledging or not desiring to have that awareness, because maybe they had some kind of something that happened to them, that they were ones who built the wall up, and then they're like, okay, nothing's getting in and nothing's getting out, and this is the way it is, and in the story. And that could be their reality. They're not choosing to acknowledge your awareness. And then there's the people that are choosing awareness. And that's what I wanted to, that's where my target is to be in this space of having total awareness and not being reactive, not being very sensitive about something, and not being like a cold and shut off and not receiving anything. Those are the two, I guess, ends of the spectrum. And I want to be right there of choosing total awareness and having that, having the awareness, not the sensitivity.
And Yeah, can I add something about that? Is
Yeah,
that
of course.
sometimes, you know, this person who don't feel anything, you know, is like they could make a decision like this thing could kill me. So poof, they're gonna shut down everything. I don't ever want to feel this again. We hear people say that sometimes.
Mhm.
I don't ever want to have this awareness again. By doing this, we create something energetically. I don't ever want to be this sensitive again. So people make somewhere, probably unconsciously, the choice to cut off. So if you are one of this person, everywhere you decided to that it was better for you to cut off from your awareness than being with it, will you now uncreate and destroy it all times a godzillion?
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pocket, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
Yeah. Hey, it's already the time to, wow.
Yeah.
And we didn't listen to the
Oh,
commercial.
we'll listen to one next week.
Okay.
So just to review, two quick tools is like expanding your universe, breaking up the little universe and expanding your energy out. And also another one is when you're around sensitive people or people who irritate you, you can also say, everywhere I've been or done that, destroy, uncreate, all that times godzillion. Because if we are reactive to something, I think you wanted to say something about if something's emotional, that's an opportunity to recognize that, okay, there's something for me to clear. If someone irritates me, that they're doing, okay, there's something that they're doing that I've been or done before that I'm not acknowledging. So you could say, so
Yeah,
everywhere I've been or done that,
yeah,
destroyed, uncreate, all that times godzillion.
sorry. If you have this tendency to judge the person, it's usually because you were that or you did that in the past. Maybe
Yeah.
not in this lifetime, in another lifetime, but it's there. It's written in your energy, so that's why you react. Yeah,
So
because
just,
if
yeah,
yeah,
pot and pock yourself, or
yeah.
interesting point of view that I have this point of view. That's another one that's very effective.
Yeah, and please don't get, as you said, don't get you wrong. If you have a reaction to something, it's because there's something in your energy that is present, that is there, that is triggered, and it's about uh, and it's about allowing yourself to be in that space, allowing this energy to be there, and asking questions. What is this? Can I change this? What can I do with this? Can I change this? If so, how can I change it? That could be another tool that you can use to become aware of whatever is there as well. So
And just clear whatever comes up too. Like if something comes up, just know that that's there to clear, and just pot and pock yourself, or everything that is destroyed and uncreated all times godzillion, something like that. That's
yeah,
if you have a lot of sensitivities.
yeah.
So next week we have another show, and we're going to do the 5-step process to change anything. This is Access's 5-step process to change anything. It's going to be a great show, so I hope you guys will join us, and we will see you next week. Thanks for listening, and please give us a honk of support by subscribing, commenting, and sharing the show with your friends. Or, if you didn't like the show, please share it with your enemies. Thanks again for hanging out with us.
Thank
And
you.
we'll see you again next week.
Thank you. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.